It was our first day in a city under siege by ISIS. We'd arrived during the night, smuggled in by Kurdish fighters.
It's 7:30 in the morning in Kobani, and the explosions have just been non-stop all morning. It sounds like the Kurds are attacking the ISIS positions in the east of the city.
Kurdish forces were fighting house to house to save their city. Backing them up, planes from America and its Arab allies.
Hardly a minute goes past when there isn't an explosion in the city or the sound of warplanes above us.
ISIS had declared they would capture Kobani. America and the Kurds were determined to stop them.
This must have been hit by coalition airstrikes. God, look at that.
Our Kurdish guides took us on a tour of the city. The Kurds controlled 2/3 of Kobani. ISIS controlled the rest, and most of the surrounding countryside. Their fighters were never more than half a mile away.
There's ISIS sniper positions, which we can see exactly down this road we need to cross to get back to safety.
Let's go.
There's been intense fighting here in the last few days. These are ISIS tanks that have been destroyed by coalition airstrikes. You can still smell the petrol coming out of them.
On the edge of town, we found a makeshift cemetery. Kurdish fighters killed the day before were being buried. We were told hundreds of Kurds had already died.
Even the children are called to come and help carry breeze blocks to separate the graves. This is something the whole community participates in, burying their dead.
There were about 1,000 Kurdish fighters in Kobani. Most days, they said, around 5 of them were killed. Jamila Mahmoud came to mourn her brother-in-law.
He's here. So this week? He just died this week.
The بابه در بود بابه دوازده ایشه ده بابه تمال و نخست بریم بود سیر ولی که برنا ترکی و دوری 4-5 را ترکی نمو هون باشورد.
Jamila said her husband, also a fighter, had been killed earlier in the siege.
Why do you continue to stay living in Kobani amidst all these explosions and all this bombing?
قول من سفتح ده أوي ده بود ده أوي ده شير ده بو قول هرنا تركي مقول از نور
حربو ما دش
عرضي خوانا كان همشي دارنا كان مولا مجنون تستكتينا مجي خرابة بير كولا متشون هير جي خرابة بي
إيه ما جيو
ديسو جام نور هم كيف
كذا
Jamila's brother-in-law left behind 7 children.
ريو شهيدي خوشي بو حقيش كيو بو إيش قوديش.
Once, 45,000 people lived here. A few thousand remained. Our Kurdish guides told us ISIS were being pushed back. They showed us the streets they'd captured just days before.
Kobani is a big town, and this is just totally destroyed. It seems endless. A baby buggy and abandoned in the street. The whole front of this house has been completely destroyed. All their sleeping mats are all folded up. We've been told that anywhere that ISIS left, they left it behind rigged with booby traps. So we're not going to go any further into this house. I just hope all the people who lived here got away before all of this destruction started.
We'd been told just one school remained open.
It's down a steep flight of stairs. We're right down in the basement. This place feels like a bomb shelter. Hello.
Sharveen Mahmoud was teaching the children Kurdish, which was banned before the civil war when this area was ruled by President Assad. Many of the children came from families fighting ISIS.
بركو حيجينا الدربة خطرية هون تنا جورنا قناص في شنغتين دقينا زروكا جبي مليدا ما خاص فلسطيني وان بكن.
How are these children affected by the war?
أري أكيد كتأثير وان بكي يعني نفسي زيدا ترسبوا مثلا إذا تشوك دقيران بس يعني إنسان دبي إنسان هو دبي جوي خدا يعني هدي بجياني خراتي. دولي هفخر؟ بيوستي بربان جرجت بردا أم نفس بسكولوجي وان. كوفيون إيه خوشك.
ISIS claims the Kurdish way of life is un-Islamic and wants to drive them out of Syria. The children told us about the relatives they'd lost.
إيماجي كوري خالي من صاروخ حراري سر شايبة دوشكي نتي دمر نيفيس أو نيفي سيربي تجيتشو باشورتن بعردي كوباني ده جوجي كمرنا كمان هابي برا عردي كوباني ده
إيمان كوري خالي مبو شو صار أبد دبابة نيري دبابة فرد اللي خست بندو اللي خست بنا مستشفى قد برجي سوق وتولجي صار سود ويجي شوش كرن تولجي بغيريون قد شيء كاتي.
We were told ISIS reinforcements had arrived overnight.
Really loud explosion very close to us. We really are in the middle of a pitched battle between the Kurdish fighters and ISIS.
Our guide, Perwar, brought troubling news.
The situation is critical. There is clashes east and southeast of Kobani, and the clashes are ongoing until this specific moment. You can hear the voice of the bullets.
The Kurds were worried they might be overwhelmed.
We're on our way to the last remaining hospital in Kobani. All the other medical centers in the town have been destroyed by ISIS.
The clinic was full, and the doctors were running out of drugs. Surgeon Basrawi Ali is from Kobani. He lived in the hospital, on call 24 hours a day. It was 10 a.m. and he'd been operating since dawn, treating fighters with complex injuries with just local anesthetic.
يلا روبه بشير زمان غدا خلاص قادية عمليات تمام شكلنا سر صورة.
Can you tell us about the operation you did today?
عمليات مازن مع أواكر عملية بلاك باش بو نخوش ما باش بو عملية مازل در باش بو.
Normal. Okay, what was that? No. Is that far away? That sounded really close.
20 minutes later, there was an influx of seriously wounded people.
The bang we heard in the operating room was an ISIS car bomb detonating, and now we've started to see casualties coming in from that attack. Civilian casualties who are coming in as well as fighters. There's an old man lying here, and there's a woman that they're just bringing in as well. The car bomb was detonated about half an hour ago now, and they're still bringing people in. It's impossible to get people here quickly because there's no ambulances.
The doctors told us ISIS attacks were often spearheaded by suicide car bombs like this one. Foot soldiers would then rush in to kill and take territory. By By nightfall, a combination of airstrikes and desperate fighting on the ground had held off the ISIS advance. The next day, we were able to explore the outskirts of town.
We're going with the Kurdish Red Crescent to an area where civilians have been camped out, and they're taking them these medical supplies.
All of these drugs were taken from bombed-out houses and abandoned chemists.
There's lots of basic medicine for children and all the simple things you'd find in a pharmacy.
We were told delivering supplies was difficult. Kobani was running out of fuel, and the road was dangerous. ISIS was targeting moving vehicles. On the edge of the city, right on the border, farmers from villages around Kobani were living in their cars and tractors. These farmers don't want to lose the machinery they rely on for their livelihoods. The Turkish government won't let them bring their vehicles across the border. For now, they're stuck here.
It stretches for miles along the border with Turkey, and there must be thousands of people living here. They all come from villages south of Kobani, and they've been driven out by ISIS, and now they're crammed up against the border with Turkey.
They might have escaped the ISIS onslaught on their villages, but the jihadists are still very close.
Just since we've got out here, you can hear fighters in Kobani mortaring that village. It's an ISIS-controlled village south of Kobani.
Dr. Manaf Kitkani was in charge of distribution. Every couple of days, he made the hazardous journey to help these people.
المشكلة هنا كوب جاي كنا شتن دقيقة ما والدرمان كو يعني تقريبا هم هي هنا جيشنا تولية كدرمان كوريا كش مرة فناكن كدرمان تيرو نه أو كريدورة كفناكن كدرمان تيرو ورا ماجي وامور بيمدتي عمل مشكلة كمان زنده.
In the last weeks of her pregnancy, Khadre Keno was reliant on the Red Crescent for medical support.
Khadre, how many of you sleep inside this truck?
6.
6.
The vehicle they escaped ISIS in had become their home.
يعني كم جدا كذا شو بكاتيكي دو جني وان دبن دفروس الناموسي وان يعني أو دكان عم يجي مكان ترسيم مع مزاري خام ولا خا يعني خا بس أمبوش دار كذا.
Wouldn't it be safer for your family to cross the border into Turkey?
I'm not Turkey. I'm the خازم العرض خوافة جارة. I'm the خازم مالي خوافة جارة.
Her baby was due any day.
يعني دهرن. And what
are you going to do at night? It's so bitterly cold here. That's your baby bag. Despite the extreme poverty that Khadra's living in, she's very excited to show me all the stuff she's got ready for her baby, the swaddling cloths, the little baby grows. It's all in here, all in her bag. Ah, this is to wrap the baby. She's got one lovely piece of white, clean cloth ready to wrap her baby in. Everything's damp, but everything's clean.
That night, we met Beritan Judy, a 19-year-old fighter.
How's it going?
2 years ago, she was at school. About a third of the Kurdish frontline fighters here were women.
How did today go? How long do you think this war can go on for?
قوري هي زعما تقاسي بكن تقارن زو خلاص كن باورناكن يعني زوب قالك بطولة يعني كيما يعني.
So you're confident you can repel ISIS?
أري تقارن داشتر.
ISIS still held one key position, the Mishtanor Hill overlooking Kobani. To regain their city, the Kurds had to take it back. That morning, ISIS fighters launched mortars into the Kurdish-held area.
That was another really loud incoming mortar round. That was very, very close. A piece of shrapnel just clinked off the roof onto here.
Beritan was at her mortar post, returning fire towards Mishtanor Hill.
That shell is going straight to the ISIS position. And that sounds like they're returning fire.
Come on! يعني وصا أو الجناد نرن أو دمينن جن إنه تشينابي مثال جنة كون بكو جدبيل ما حرام دبيل ما بتنجهنمي يعني بالعكس يعني قولي حقي جنة دبيجة هنا أمجي أم خبيش خنهم بري داعش لازم داعش تجاري أجساني.
Perwer, our guide, told us that having beaten off the ISIS counterattack, the Kurds were advancing.
There's another open area here, so we have to get low and move quickly.
He wanted to take us towards the new front line.
I saw, I think, maybe 500, 600 meters.
So we're only half a kilometre away from where ISIS is still trying to take this area back. Stench. There's bodies there.
In a school playground, we found the corpses of 9 ISIS fighters. A school teacher, Ahmad, fought alongside his friends to kill them at close quarters.
بس رشا كتاني كرنا وبيتنا من حوالي مرة وشيكات بس صد جي صد جنازي ودارانوس كم جدنا وخونيان صدي زيادة ترجينوس.
The Kurds told us that papers found on the bodies suggested some of the ISIS fighters were Europeans. We couldn't verify their claims.
We're now moving through smashed holes through walls and houses so the fighters could move without being seen.
We met some of the fighters who'd just been in action, men and women who fought alongside each other. Lian Mohammed is a teenage schoolgirl and a hardened soldier.
We've heard that ISIS fighters are especially scared of the female Kurdish fighters. What do you think about that?
Her 2 sisters were also fighters. On the 134th day of the siege, the Kurds made a decisive breakthrough.
Without these airstrikes, the Kurdish fighters wouldn't have been able to push ISIS back. This is the bottom of the Mishtanor Hill, which the Kurdish fighters have only just taken back from ISIS.
But the battle for the hill wasn't over yet.
Where are ISIS from here? Are they right over the crest of this
from
hill?
this side, yeah.
Okay, so right over the back of this hill.
Right now we are very, very close. About 100 meters, there is ISIS position.
So this is ISIS retreating?
Yeah.
Are they firing as they retreat?
Yeah, they are fighting toward us.
Okay.
Yeah. Airstrike.
That is the sound of another coalition airstrike very close to where we are right now. Oh, look at that.
The Kurds were pushing forward.
Okay, we're going to go further up the Mishtanur Hill in our armored personnel carrier. We're right here at the top of the Mishtanur Hill. Only a few days ago, this was entirely controlled by ISIS. This really is an incredibly strategic point when you can see the whole city from here.
From here, it was easy to see how ISIS had been able to control so much of Kobani. But now they were retreating.
As you can hear, the battle still continues. There's heavy fighting in that direction, and they're firing heavy machine gun over the hill at ISIS positions on the other side.
We spoke to some of the fighters who recaptured the hill.
Denise, can you tell me what was the fighting like up here? How long do you think it'll be before ISIS are defeated in Kobani? How does it make you feel to be able to look out over Kobani from up here today?
For the Kurds, this was a triumph, proof that ISIS is not invincible. Yet it took 4 months of fighting and over 700 airstrikes to claw back this one tiny city. ISIS still controls large areas of Syria and Iraq. The refugees are still on the border. A few days after the fighting in Kobani ended, Khadra gave birth to a baby boy. His name means life.
Thanks for watching this classic Unreported World episode. Click the logo to subscribe for more award-winning documentaries from the Unreported World team. We upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, keeping you up to date with content from all over the world.